did this paper for a religion and psychology double major, and I did this paper for my senior religion seminar. I'd like to also add that if you have not finished the books, the Harry Potter books or the movies, I apologize in advance because there are spoilers. Love makes people do pretty crazy things. It can turn people into poets, though some results are more embarrassing than others. And it can inspire people to be better than they were before. In one form, love can be a sacrifice. This may mean just sacrificing your weekend for the one you love, or it could mean dying for the one you love. In the New Testament, God shows her love for humanity by sacrificing Jesus, both as her Son and as God incarnate, for the redemption of humanity. This kind of sacrifice and self-sacrifice for another can be a model for others to follow, exemplifying the same kind of selfless devotion of God and Jesus for humanity. In the Harry Potter series, sacrifice is a daily and continuous experience in the life of Severus Snape. Snape serves as a Christ figure in the series through the altruistic and self-sacrificial love he shows for Lily Potter, and provides the reader with an accessible Christian model of sacrifice. In the New Testament, God is frequently portrayed as loving humanity. The Greek word for this kind of love is agape, which means a deep, self-sacrificial love. Agape is repeatedly used along with the theme of sacrifice, either of God or of her Son. Agape, as the love of God, is so fundamental to Christianity that without it, Christianity wouldn't be Christianity. The New Testament almost always refers to agape to describe God's love. The Gospel of John declares, quote, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so that everyone who believes in him may not perish but have eternal life," end quote. This passage refers to God's love as a sacrifice, a giving up of something precious, God's Son Jesus. As God's Son, or even as God herself, this is a major sacrifice. This means giving up oneself or one's child for something else, in this case, humanity. A mother or father giving up his or her child is a kind of sacrifice that those of us without children can only imagine. This is God's love for humanity, a true agape love. Jesus, as God's sacrifice, becomes a living and dying example of sacrificial love. His death provides a model for this sacrifice that has a purpose and was ultimately the result of the love of God for humankind. Jesus' life was also a sacrifice, as he gave his life to teaching and loving humanity. In the Gospel of John, Jesus instructs his disciples, saying, quote, "I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you should love one another," end quote. This passage conveys the idea that we show that love by loving one another. This idea of showing love comes up again in the Gospel of John. Quote, "No one has greater love than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends," end quote. Making a sacrifice, especially of one's life, for the sake of another is the truest form of love. We are given Jesus' example and told to follow it. Jesus laid down his life for the redemption of humanity, and we're instructed to love each other like Jesus loved us. This requires, implicitly, sacrifice for others, as that is how Jesus showed his love for us. In the same way that love plays a key role in the relationship between God and humanity, love also plays a key function in the life, death, and character of Severus Snape in the Harry Potter series. Snape's love is not for humanity, but for a person, Lily Potter, Harry's deceased mother. It seems contrary to Snape's character that he could be in love. Snape is dark and brooding, and he scoffs at anyone who shows emotion. Harry takes lessons from Snape on how to block others from reading Harry's mind, but Harry isn't exactly a natural at this art. Snape rails against Harry, telling him that if he cannot control his emotions and get past sad memories, then Harry is weak and will be easy to overpower. Snape chiding Harry for both wallowing in sad memories and for being weak by failing to control his emotions is ironic. Lily's death and the constant reminder of that has shaped Snape's entire being. Severus Snape has been madly in love with Lily his entire life and was deeply heartbroken when it became clear she had feelings for another, James Potter. In Inadvertently, Snape puts Lily's life in danger and turns to Dumbledore to save her. This plan fails, and Lily is killed by Voldemort by her attempt to protect Harry. Snape experiences profound pain through Lily's death. This pain is partially because of the blame Snape puts on himself. If he had never put Lily's life in danger, however accidental it was, Lily might still be alive. At the same time, and more importantly, his pain arises from losing the one person he has ever truly loved. Through the pain he feels over the death of Lily, Snape vows to protect her son, Harry. Through her death, Snape's love for Lily becomes an agape love. As a child, and even as a young adult, Snape's love for Lily was selfish, needy, and desirous. After her death, Snape's love deepens, and it becomes altruistic, self-sacrificial, unselfish, and giving. He devotes himself fully to the cause Lily believed in, with Dumbledore's encouragement. Quote, "If you loved Lily Evans, if you truly loved her, then your way forward is clear," end quote. Snape's way forward after her death is to protect Harry and the cause Lily died for, even though it requires helping people who he doesn't even like. He puts himself in danger on a daily basis as a double agent, for which he receives nothing but does solely for the memory of Lily. The people he helps don't altogether trust him. He doesn't like them, and Lily is dead. She can't give him anything in return or ever know what he has done. While this love may seem selfish, since Snape is completely fixated on Lily and no one else, Lily functions in the same way humanity does. God and Jesus do everything out of love for humanity, while Snape does everything out of love for Lily. Though it may not be defined as easy, it is a lot easier to lay down your life for people you like compared to people you don't like. Snape's role as a double agent for Dumbledore means that he is constantly in danger of dying, but he takes that risk. In the Gospel of John, we're told the greatest kind of love is to lay down one's life for one's friends, and Snape lays down his life for Lily on a daily basis through his actions to protect her son, people she cared about, and the cause she most believed in. Though he knows Harry is important to the cause of the good, this is a clear example of Jesus' commandment in Luke. Quote, "If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? But love your enemies, do good, and lend, expecting nothing in return. Your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, for he is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked," end quote. Snape is certainly not perfect, but he does this very well. It says much more about him and how love has changed him that Snape helps those who he does not like. He really does despise Harry, even if his reasons for not liking him are not on the most solid foundation. The fact that Severus continues to help and protect him speaks to the love he continues to have for Lily. He is willing to protect and put his own life on the line for her son and the cause of the good, because it is what Lily would have wanted. It is the most he can do for her memory. But what can we learn from this? As much as I love my friends, I'm not put into life-threatening situations on a daily basis, nor am I given many opportunities to lay down my life for the people I love. However, we can learn about being accessible Christ figures in our own lives through the Harry Potter series. Though Snape functions like a Christ-like model, so do other characters. Harry and Dumbledore also give their lives to the people they love in fairly obvious ways that seem Christ-like. Harry chooses to die so that Voldemort can be defeated, and is literally resurrected in a very Jesus-esque fashion. Dumbledore also chooses to die prematurely for the cause, to ensure that Snape's role as a double agent is without question to Voldemort or the Death Eaters, and so that Snape can continue to protect Harry. More minor characters are also self-sacrificial, like Fred Weasley, Tonks, and Lupin, who die in the final battle. Dobby the House Elf is also a model of self-sacrifice, having saved Harry and his friends from the Death Eaters in the last book and dying in the process. We also see Lily and James as sacrificing themselves for their son Harry. Snape, however, seems like an odd character to think of as Christ-like. The other characters are easy to like. Fred Weasley is exceptionally funny, while Lupin is a good mentor. In contrast, Snape is rude, unfriendly, and a bully. How could Snape, with all of his personal faults, teach us how to be like Christ? Though Snape's faults are easy to point out, whose faults aren't? We are all imperfect, selfish, and full of countless, and possibly more exciting, faults of our own. Snape exemplifies these imperfections in all of us, but shows us how we can overcome these faults to be Christ figures in our own lives. Snape sacrifices himself through Lily, and through her for the people and the cause that she loved. If Snape, with all of his personal faults and issues, can overcome them through love, to sacrifice himself for others, what excuse do you have? We can do the same. We don't have to die to show this kind of sacrifice. Though Snape does die, his life is a much more consequential sacrifice than his death. Much more is achieved through the work Snape does for the entire wizarding community during his life, both through his efforts for the Order and his protection of Harry. This sacrifice was through his agape, selfless love for one person in particular, but we can do this as well. Even before his love was a true agape, Snape was becoming transformed by his love for Lily. Jesus and God are idyllic models of self-sacrifice, but Jesus is seen as blameless, as without sin. We are certainly not without our faults, so having a model of sacrifice that we can relate to and actually attain is both inspiring and gives us something to strive for. Snape provides that model with his blatant, obvious personal faults and selfless love. Loving someone else is not necessarily easy, but as a result, our self-sacrifice transforms all involved. Through our own care and devotion to those around us, we can become Christ-like and show the same kind of love as God and Jesus. Not all of us may have the option to die for our friends, but we can sacrifice our lives to loving those around us and protecting them through that love. Thank you.